So this is a decent splitter. It's like 4.5 pounds. I'd call this medium splitter, if that makes sense. So it's a medium good splitter. I kind of wanted to compare it to this house maul because for most stuff, this will do it. So let's see what it does with this mulberry. It's like a 12-inch diameter, maybe a little more. Obviously, it's a little longer this way, so yeah, actually, maybe it's like 13-inch diameter that way. The heart, the pith is right here, so it's not very centered. If I wanted to split off a little chunk, it would be really easy. So let's see if I can do that. I think it would be really easy. You can see a bunch of the hickory from that short I just did over there. I still haven't gotten that stacked up, but I wanted to swing some more, so here we go. Yeah, just like I thought. Okay, so that's really nice and easy. I think I've found that when you have those big growth rings, I don't know if it's reaction wood or I don't know which way the reaction wood goes on mulberry compared to, I think softwoods and hardwoods are different, but yeah, the big growth rings are on this side, and the pith is right here, and there's just a little bit of smaller rings this way. So let's see, is this worth it? Is this good as I think it is? Now let me give it a fair shot. Let me give it because that was I knew that would be easy that way. So this way should be easy. I feel like, when some stuff like that happens, you just feel like cursing your enemies. I actually have one enemy. It's not, I don't want to tell the story because it's really serious, but I have an enemy. You guys have any enemies? Mulberry's pretty, isn't it? That's beauty. That's why I've used it for wedges and handles. Actually, eventually I'll be making a full-size handle out of some mulberry. As you can see, perfectly good splitter for... Now, I've riven mulberry, and it's probably one of the easiest woods I've ever riven. And it was twisted up, so maybe mulberry's really easy to split, especially when it's straight like this. But so let's pick up the 3.5 pounder, and this is only a 27-inch handle. Yeah, that's just fun. That's just good stuff. That's just good old-fashioned fun there. I hope my enemy sees this. Nah, that won't happen. I almost said the gender. I don't want to say anything about this enemy. It's no laughing matter. This enemy is like a real, it's a real enemy. I never had I mean, I've had enemies. Like, I've had people, I'm like, I hope they die. But I mean, this is like a real, let's talk enemies, guys. When I was in high school, there was this kid, he was a douchebag to me. That's not really an enemy. It's like, I hate that kid, but, I never thought he should die. When someone like harms your life for real, that's like, or someone around you, yeah, that's like an enemy. This is a real enemy. I'm about to make a documentary. Oh man, I would be splitting on the ground if it wasn't for the camera. There's a little knot here. Let's see how tough this mulberry knot is. I'm gonna go right through it. I'm gonna try to go like through it horizontal instead of like with it. It's right there. It's not a huge knot. Wow. It was a shallow knot, you could tell. Let's see what we got here. Should I pick up the yeah, let's pick up the American axe. All of these are fine. This is easy to split. Look at this. Barely trying. That wasn't even a swing. That was like a drop. Man, maybe I should have saved some of this for handles. It's pretty stuff. Although it does have those kind of differing growth rings. Not sure if that's the best for the stability of a handle. I'm sure that it affects the movement, you know, stuff like that. Maybe it could even crack more, but that's just like trying to get the best of the best. You don't always need that, especially with a short handle. This would be for hatchets, so maybe I should shut the hell up. Maybe my enemy is getting to me here. I just want to do terrible things to this enemy. This is the first time I've ever... I'm the kind of guy where it's like something bad happens to me and someone did it purposely, or it just happened and they did it. I let it go pretty quick. Like, I'm going to try to think of how to say this without saying too much. A job screwed me over, and this other guy wanted to like sabotage that place. And I was like, yeah, I want to do it. And then I just like, it left me. The revenge like leaves me pretty quick. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to hurt anybody. That's how life is. They didn't do anything too bad. They just stole a little bit of money. That's how it is. I also have some hickory here still. I was gonna make something with this, but maybe I should just say fuck it, and we'll see what the tougher timber does. Yeah, let's say fuck it. Oh man, it is a really nice piece of. But who wants to make a chair out of hickory? I don't think I want to do that. There's plenty of timber out in this world. I can get more. All right, let's do this. Should we go with the best first, or how about this? We'll start with the smallest handle, and we'll go to the medium, and then we'll go to the longest. That American Axe is a 30-inch handle. Oh, guys, I'm telling you, the mini mall, it's not to be trifled with. If you have an enemy, pick your mini mall out. It's not like we live in the days where enemies, you know, you don't do anything to your enemy. You can't physically attack. Oh shit. You can't physically attack enemies. Wow. This is more straight, so it's not that tough, but you know, I had a bit of a battle with some of this earlier. But yeah, there are no knots in this. What do you guys think? Hickory? It looks like it has the diamond pattern. They all look like they're going vertical, the bark scales. When I smell the heartwood, it smells like hickory. It doesn't really smell like hickory. And I don't see pores really. Maybe I finally... They said it was maple. I've never messed with hard maple, but to my knowledge, it doesn't have scales like this. It can have scales though, but I don't think it's like that. All right, let's see if we can do this one-handed. Choking up, one-handed. What am I aiming for? Let's turn that bad boy. Let's just go a little sliver. I mean, this is effective, guys, right? You can't see this and say that doesn't work. That's stupid, because it works, and it's not stupid, and it's really fun to use. A lot of firewood splitting. I'm sure people think of it as a chore. You use one of these fucking things, you know, you're gonna be paying attention because it's a short handle, and it's gonna be novel. I love novel experiences. Shit, I like almost split the whole thing with this. That's how much I like it. I can't get it. I can't stop. Let's see, what's this about? There's like some red to this. I never saw hickory like that, so confusing. I think when I smooth the end grain, it's chainsaw cut, so I can't really tell, but it does look like there's annual rings with the pores, but I can't really tell. One thing about identifying timber can be a lot easier when the end grain is smooth. You know, if it's oak, you'll see the medullary rays, and then you can tell which oak it is. If the pores are a little filled, it's white oak with the tyloses, and if they're not, if there's numerous pores and it's like stacked in 4 or more, I think that's pin oak. Let's see, Got some red oak right here. Right? Actually, that's white oak. I got some mulberry. Did I ever show you guys mulberry? How cool it is? So, when UV light interacts with mulberry, it gets really dark brown. This is mulberry as well. I know I just showed you guys splitting mulberry, but watch this. I could have done this so much easier. I don't know why I did it like that. I just wanted to be lazy and give a lazy swing with one hand. Look at this. So it can be even more yellow than this when it's wet. Look at the difference between fresh mulberry flesh and UV light fucking shit. UV light. It was molested by UV light, not in a bad way. Oh boy, I have neighbors. Okay, this feels really light in the hands now. Let's see. Wow, got him. So you don't need the best splitting axe when your timber's straight grained. You know what? Let's finish it off with my baby. I don't even know if I need to pull out the other axe. Yeah, let's see. Oh yeah. Yeah, it does resemble maple a little bit with those like really tiny medullary rays. I don't know if they're medullary rays, but those little horizontal lines in maple kind of looks like rays. It's really pretty, but I don't know what it is, to be honest. You shouldn't. What do you guys think? Should I be smelling heartwood and say that smells like it? Because a lot of times heartwood does smell pretty pungent. Should I be just smelling heartwood and saying that smells like hickory? Can't really tell. Think I could just use my holding hand? Oh God. I don't think I overstruck. I think I hit like this. It just did nothing. Let's try it again. No aim though, because your other hand is your guiding hand. Kind of like in basketball. You have so I'm a righty. So in basketball, this hand is your holding hand, and this right hand is your push, what you push with. But this stabilizes the ball. Kind of the same thing. My right hand stabilizes the axe, and then I'm kind of straight on when I'm coming down with it with the other hand. This is kind of pulling. I believe that's what's happening. You're pulling with one hand. You know what? You're pulling with both hands, and you're kind of whippity doo-dah. You know, there is something I want to talk about for more advanced splitting. So, just as a dummy rule for safety, when you're splitting, you want to have the handle be parallel to the ground to make sure that the arc of your swing isn't going to end in your body and you don't destroy your own limbs. But there is something to when you swing like this, you can kind of let the axe go almost, and it sure, the handle's not parallel right now, but the axe is still going that way, if it makes sense. Here, I'll try to show it. So I'm kind of almost throwing it away. You see what I'm saying? I gotta edit that out. I gotta edit those happy feet out. You know, I've been getting so fat that my belly keeps me exposed every time I swing. If you've seen my videos, I cut to the timber when I'm splitting. That's not because I'm like, oh, look how cool the timber is. That's because my fat gut is. I need to lose some belly. Let's try it again. Nope. Let's try with the other hand. Oh! Oh shit. I absolutely just dinged this. Not a big deal because I use this as a splitter, but I have cross cut with it. Look at that ding. Son of a bitch. Tells you it's good. See, that's just dumb. I put the metal. Oh, wow. Look how dumb this was. I just hit edge to edge. This is how the axe was sitting. I just went boom. That's so dumb. You do want to get your axes out of the way so you don't step on them or fall on them. That wasn't very safe. Even though there's no edge on this, still stupid. Just, you know, making sure you can't fuck up in a bad way. That's kind of how I like to do things. But anyway, what was I talking about? Fat. my belly is like a, you know, I do like having a big belly because then when it's raining, you know those trucks with the, those trucks that have like the overhang over the windshield? Less window wiper action. My crotch doesn't get wet. Doesn't look like I peed my pants. Looks like I peed everywhere else though when I get wet in the rain. Anyway. This axe is dusty. When I use a splitter, it gets pretty ugly and like dirty. But who cares? It's a tool. Why has it got to be pretty? I don't get that. I really don't get that. So there's a lot of people that when they're beginning, they'll say like, "Oh, my axe rusted. What should I do?" Use it. Unless you're cross cutting and you need a really fine apex and it rusted that apex, the rust, who cares? Just use it. It'll come off. Wood is abrasive a little bit, and I'm sure the rust, if it's, you know, unless you let it sit for 30 years, then sure, you could take a wire wheel to it. But other than that, who gives a shit? Just use it. The rust should come off. It's a rough tool. These axes are literally the roughest timber processing hand tool, you know? You cut the tree down, you split it with the axe, you buck it with the axe. It's rough timber processing. It's not fine woodworking, you know? You don't need this isn't a hand plane iron, all right, guys? This is something when the edge gets like that, when there's a ding in the edge, what do you say? You say, "Oh well, whoops." I did put a nice edge on this, but it's like 27 degrees, I think, when I checked it. I did that in a video. This is a mulberry wedge. Look how dark it is. And this is kept out of the sun, so, I mean, a little bit. It's stored outside of the sun, but it is in the sun sometimes. Look at that thick wedge. I mean, that thick pole. Big pole on this bad boy. Let me show you guys something. So, me and the boys on Instagram, the Axe Boys, were trying to figure out, oh no. Oh no, we have some tear out. I don't know how. Oh, that must have been a little bit of firewood must have hit this and kind of knocked a little piece off the front. That sucks. That's uglier now, and a little less. Well, actually, it has nothing to do with the security of it. But anyway, me and the Axe Boys were trying to figure out what this pattern is because I didn't think it was a jersey. And look how wide this Dayton or Delaware is. It's way wider. Not way wider, but maybe a quarter of an inch. Let's see if I can line that up good. Yeah, maybe a quarter of an inch wider. That's quite wide compared to what, you know, usually a jersey is a wide bit, 5 1/4, 5 at least. So what we thought was this might be a Baltimore, which I'm not sure if Baltimore is different from Baltimore, Kentucky. My pal was saying that. He was like, I think it's the same thing, and I never thought about that or heard that before. So what do you guys think? Is it Baltimore, Kentucky the same as a Baltimore? I don't really know the characteristics of a Baltimore. I just know the jersey and the Rockaway when it comes to the lugged patterns in America. I barely even know what the hell this is. So anyway, just a little splitting, a little technique talk. See what I mean? It's gone. Doesn't matter that it's not parallel. This is advanced. This is not for a new user of axes. Speaking of new user of axes, I had a pal try this out. It was his second time splitting, and his swing looked good. His splitting swing looked good, and I told him this is advanced. It's not for beginners, so I'm not gonna let you use this. But then I saw him splitting. I was like, you know what? You could try it. Just make sure that the handle's parallel to the ground, because this is more dangerous. This short handle, definitely more dangerous. Just like with a hatchet, the arc of the swing is higher up on your body. So, you know, the death zone, you could die if you, they say that if you get shot, you want to be shot in the arms, not in the legs, because of the, you know, the blood loss, I guess. And it's this, probably the same with one of these bad boys. Although, whenever when I've killed myself in the past, this way has worked really well. Okay. When I've killed myself, you guys don't like that talk. I hope my enemy thinks about that. I hope my enemy gets the get the right technique on killing yourself, enemy. I think that's a more honest way to live, is to like, I don't, obviously you don't have to admit it to everyone on a camera, but you know, we got enemies, some of us. And there's terrible people out there that do terrible things. So it's only natural to hate them, or at least hate what they do. How can we set this off? How can we end this? How can we end this with our enemies? You know, you could always say, "Oh, just avoid them." Well, the whole point of why they're enemies is I didn't get to avoid them when they did something awful. So, sure, you can avoid them now that they did the worst fucking thing you can think of. This might be shown in a court case one day. No. Like I said, I don't do the revenge thing. It's a lot. Getting revenge is like, you know how that, what they say about poison, or yeah, it's like you want to poison the enemy, but you're poisoning yourself with anger and shit. So I'm a pretty happy-go-lucky guy. I've been called a jolly fat guy before, like Santa Claus, and I was like, that's pretty cool. Santa Claus gets to break and enter every home in the world. Isn't that awesome? Santa Claus is one of the most prolific burglars in the world. He gets milk and cookies 7 billion times. Well, there's not 7 billion homes, but maybe 2 billion times every year this guy steals milk and cookies. And sure, it is pretty funny how we're not like Buddhists have, what do they call this, where you put stuff, offerings. We don't do offerings in America, but to some fat guy who gives us free shit, free presents. It's not real, but you know what I'm saying. Oh man, that's good. All right, well, I'll leave you with that. Hopefully our enemies give Santa like old milk, and Santa's like, fuck this fucking cunt. I'm gonna put radioactive coal in her stockings. Okay. Let's get out of here, guys. Let's get that. We gotta get the fuck out of here. Funny video. I already fucked up an edge that I've had perfect for a long time. Splitting edges last a really long time, guys. And if you have a secondary bevel on a cross-cutting axe, that could last a long time too if it's not too thin. So thanks for watching. There's some timber. Man, I love timber. And goodbye.